is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham. I have got Chris McKool with me. You are all the way from Burlington today.
Burlington, Ontario.
Thank you very much for joining us. Now, you're the band leader, producer, and violinist of the group called Sultans of String.
That's right. We've been together for 20 years now, believe it
Wow.
or not. Yeah. We
Wow.
released our first album in 2007. Yeah, I'm the violin player, and along for the ride, we've got Kevin Laliberté on guitar, who's a fantastic guitar player. He had just come off 10 years performing with Jesse Cook on the road. And we've got Drew Burston on the bass, who has performed with everyone from Chantal Kraviazak to Melanie Doan to Amanda Martinez. And all along the way, we've been doing these incredible projects, like working with new immigrants and refugees to Canada, working with symphony orchestras, working with young audiences. But this is really a very important and meaningful project, Walking Through the Fire, which is collaborations with Indigenous artists from coast to coast to coast, all the way from the Pacific Northwest to the Arctic and PEI. And yeah, it's been an incredible experience so far.
Okay, and the Walking Through the Fire, that collaboration started a little over a year ago?
Well, it was about, yeah, I guess we released the album in September 2023. So I guess that's about a year and a half. And it kicked off a tour. We never thought we'd be touring the album. We just thought we're going to make a really important and really cool piece of art. But we ended up doing like a 50-show tour throughout Ontario and beyond, performing with symphonies, opening for Robert Plant in front of 25,000 people at Edmonton Folk Festival. It's just been incredible. And then what we decided to do, because we still wanted to share that with a wider audience, is we created the film Walking Through the Fire, which is what we call it, a visual album. It's really cool because it has in-depth interviews with all the artists, condensed down to 60 seconds per artist, along with the music that we composed or arranged or produced together. And so it turned into an 82-minute music documentary, rockumentary, and we get to show it at the Mayfair Theatre on April 5th, which is really cool because I'm originally from Ottawa, and the Mayfair Theatre is one of those beautiful old theaters, rep cinemas, where you walk in there and you just love the vibe and the feel of it. So it's a really great place to be showing the film.
So you're up for Ensemble of the Year for this?
That's right, at the Canadian Folk Music Awards, which is that whole weekend in Ottawa. So lots of great music. You can go there on Thursday, Friday, Saturday night. They've got concerts and awards and performances, all kinds of stuff. And they were kind enough to see the value in sharing these Indigenous artists with the larger community there in Ottawa. So this particular thing is open to the public, the film screening. And it's pretty cool because we've got some of the artists from the film joining us in Ottawa. We've got Mark Marilanen from his Nadjuan project. We've got Elder Shannon Thunderbird, and we've got a local dancer, Jose Bourgeois, one of the dancers we worked with on the project and in the film, joining us. All three of us are going to do a Q&A period after the film screening.
So that's April 5th.
Yes, and it's kind of an oddball time, but it's 12:30, like lunch hour, 12:30 at the Mayfair. So I guess you could bring the kids.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now this collaboration that you say it started a year ago, September too. I really got caught up last night. I was doing my homework on our interview today on some of the music. My goodness, you just mentioned Elder Shannon Thunderbird. Her song "Lost and Found." Oh my goodness.
Well, the first time I heard that, it brought me to tears, and it became, I guess, one of the cornerstone pieces of the project, because this project is to be able to tell the truth of the Indigenous experience here in Canada. One of the things that you learn through the film is that the artists, they share the joy and the humor of their communities, and the resilience of Indigenous culture and how their culture has lived on and continues to thrive, but also shows the pain and the incredible injustice that also continues to this day in Indigenous communities. So I think Lost and Found is a song that she wrote after those first bodies were found, grave sites were found in Kamloops, and I think I think it's a message that everybody here in Canada needs to hear, right? Because we pride ourselves on being a peacekeeping nation, on being a just and fair nation. We also have to be aware of our history and reconcile with that history, to learn the true history of the Indigenous experience in this country, the history of residential schools, and of the intergenerational impacts of colonization. So, one of the things that we did try to do with this film is we really tried to create a balance between showing the joy and the beauty of Indigenous culture while also telling some of the harder truths. And you walk out feeling more informed and hopefully energized and hopefully wanting to learn more about these artists.
Absolutely, and it's like you say, like it was learning watching the videos and everything last night too. You could see the joy, you could see the beauty, you could see the culture. When I heard that song, it was like, that's why you did it. Almost to me, that's why you did this collaboration.
Right. I think you're right.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, well, I was going to say the dates again, but I'm just reading my notes. Pardon me for looking, because there's so much. You were Juno Award nominees 3 times.
3-time Juno Award nominees, and we've won 6 Canadian Folk Music Awards out of 11 nominations.
Many awards, many awards too. So yes, you guys have been around.
That's a testament to our longevity, but also the incredible collaborations we've been able to accomplish over the past couple of decades. And on this album, like, it's ridiculous. We've got Leela Gilday, the Métis Fiddler Quartet, Duke Redbird, Shannon Thunderbird that we mentioned, the North Sound from Saskatchewan, Kendra Taguna and Tracy Sarrazin from Baker Lake. It goes on and on, like Crystal Shawanda, Leanne Tanaton, Raven Kanataka, Northern Cree Powwow Group. And it's been incredible because early on in the process, we were able to meet with the late Murray Sinclair, and he really set us on the right path for this project. And one of the things that he shared with us is how important it is to use the Indigenous languages so those don't become lost, right? So in the film, people can hear Similgax and Dene language and Cree and Michif and Inuktitut, as well as English. And hear the artists sharing in their own words about their experience.
Wow. Now you say this film is 83 minutes?
82.
82 minutes? Oh my goodness, I bet you it's going to go by just like that if you go.
It really does. It really does. Yeah.
Wow. So
our last film called The Refuge Project was a little bit too long, so we tightened this one up, and it just whizzes right by. One of the inspirations of it was actually the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's 94 Calls to Action final report. And one of them is it calls for, number 83, calls for Canada Council to establish a strategy for Indigenous and non-Indigenous artists to undertake collaborative projects that can contribute to the reconciliation process. So we took this literally, and that's basically what this whole project is based on, as well as number 63, which is building student capacity for intercultural understanding, empathy, and mutual respect. So on our tour, we've not only been doing the live concert for regular adult audiences, but also a lot of, we arrive at the venue early and they bus in school kids from age like grades 4 to 12.